Hi, my name is Deanne Yannick Travis and welcome to my kitchen in San Francisco, California. Today I'm going to be sharing with you a recipe called Philly Love Salmon Quiche. You may say, why Philly Love? Well, Philly Love is a term my mom and I coined because we love cooking with Philadelphia cream cheese. In fact, we cook with it so much that we buy it in bulk. So today, let's get started. One thing about this recipe that I need to point out that I find very exciting is that it's gluten-free. I don't know about you, but I hear more and more every day about people that have an intolerance to gluten or an actual allergy. In fact, my sister-in-law can't eat gluten at all. So let's get started. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to make the crust of the Philly Love Salmon Quiche. And this is one of the most simple crusts that I have ever made. It takes only 3 ingredients. The first ingredient that I have in this bowl is brown rice flour, and we're going to use 1½ cups of brown rice flour. And to that, we're going to add a ½ cup of shortening. And I personally like to use shortening that uses only non-hydrogenated oil. It's more healthy for you and your body, and of course we want to cook healthy for ourselves and for our family and friends. And to that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the pastry cutter and I'm going to begin to break up the shortening into the rice flour until it resembles maybe pea-sized pieces of the shortening. And you just want to incorporate this together. It's very simple to do. If you've never made a crust before, this is one of the easiest. I have made so many crusts. In fact, my grandfather was a baker, so I think that's probably where I find a lot of my inspiration. So you're going to incorporate this together. You might need to push it down with your fingers so it doesn't get caught on the pastry cutter. And once you have your pea-sized pieces of shortening and it's mixed in, going to add to that 4 tablespoons of ice cold water. And before, when I was prepping everything, I actually took a few ice cubes, put it in the water and let it sit here because it's very key that you have ice cold water. That will make the crust nice and crispy. And I'm going to add 4 tablespoons. Okay, then we'll move the pastry cutter out of the way here. And I am going to just mix this together and start incorporating it together. And it's going to start to get a little bit sticky. And once it gets sticky, it might start to form a ball, and then that's when we're going to start using our hands and incorporate it together just a little bit more. So we are just about at that point right now. So I'm going to use my washed hands and continue to incorporate this together. All right, and form it into a nice ball. And if it doesn't come too much into a ball, just as long as you see that it's starting to come together, is just fine. I'm going to take my pie pan. I'm going to move the crust into my pie pan, like so. And then I'm going to press it down into the bottom and up the sides. Now I've finished pressing the crust on the bottom and around the sides, and this does not have to be perfect at all, which makes it very easy again to make as a crust. So I'm going to set this to the side. Next, we're going to start the filling. The ingredients for the filling are 2 whole eggs and 2 egg yolks, which I have already put in this bowl, and I'm just going to mix these up. And to that, we're going to add 1½ cups of heavy cream. If you prefer, you could probably use light cream as well, but I really do like the texture that the heavy cream creates. Makes it very nice and silky. Excuse me, didn't mean to splash you there. And then I'm going to take 4 ounces of salmon that I have chopped up into cubes. And the most important ingredient, 4 ounces of Philly Love. We're going to mix that in. And then next we're going to add 3/4 teaspoon salt and 1/2 teaspoon of pepper. And then I also like to add some chives and some dill. It adds a beautiful green color to it. And let's see, we will sprinkle those in. This is not an exact science. If you like more dill, you can put more dill. If you like more chives, you can put more chives. And I see there's a little salt and pepper left here in my bowl. Don't want to keep that out. All right, I'm going to mix this up, and then we'll be pouring it into the pie shell. Pour that right in. Oh, this looks absolutely beautiful. I can't wait to take a bite. And when you pour it in, you might just want to spread around the lox and the cream cheese so it's not all one pile in one place. And I really like using cubes of cream cheese in this because you really get a nice flavor of that Philly love. And then next I'm going to take some cherry tomatoes that have been halved, and I'm going to place them in a pretty design around the quiche. Sometimes they do fall in, but it will look beautiful when it comes out. You can use about a dozen tomatoes, or more or less, depending on what you, your family, or your friends like. And just place these in a pretty pattern all the way around. And maybe we'll put a few more into the center. And this is going to be ready to stick in the oven. Hi, we're back again 30 minutes later, and here is our beautiful quiche that came out of the oven. Once again, it is so simple, and it is the ultimate comfort food. Even my husband loved this quiche, so don't tell us men don't love quiche. Hope you enjoy.